Yeah, so the biggest challenges obviously was finding a location. My first location was in Manhattan on Fifth Avenue. I felt that, obviously Fifth Avenue being iconic, that would have drive traffic to the location. But, I was placed on the second floor. And so a lot of the foot traffic didn't really happen. And so the fact also that, it was a new technology, a lot of people needed to be, taught or given the information so that they would have drive more traffic to the spa. So I then started to see where else or who else I could partner with to bring the concept and to help people, which is the overall objective of healthier lifestyles. And that is where I was able to meet this resort owner in Dominican Republic, and that's my focus going forward, to launch the Aberdeen Wellness Park in the Laurian Royale in Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic, which is scheduled to take place later this year. Yeah, the testimonies that we were getting, whether it was from Bimini itself, and after the launch in New York, I partnered with a doctor's office in Long Island, and a lot of the patients there, they tried it out, and there were tremendous testimonies that we received. So I knew that, the technology itself worked. We have prominent athletes that use the technology in their training regimen as a form of recovery. And so the clinical studies done at Rice University by a number of the student athletes there. And so we had all of that information before I even launched Aberdeen Wellness Park. So it was now getting it out to, where I'm from in New York, and having those people who didn't know about it experience it. That's the only way. People need to experience the oxygen hydrotherapy and see the benefits of it and how their body feels. We are still going through a lot of the clinical studies, and it's evolving. Every day we hear, oh, the oxygen helped me in a particular area. And until we do a lot of those clinical studies, we would tend to find more and more situations. Yeah, there was a guy at the doctor's office. He's like about 45 years old, and he's a pitcher. And so, at that age, he still played baseball, for fun, obviously, but being competitive. And so he mentioned to me that after he pitches a game, his shoulder is very much inflamed. Obviously, being a pitcher, you're working your arm a lot. And so I said to him, we have other athletes that use this system, and we have had tremendous, testimonies from it. And so I had him go into the system and use the oxygen hydrotherapy one day. And I reached out to him the day after his game, and he said he felt great. He was able to pitch the entire game. And when he went home the night, where is when he would usually have a lot of pain from pitching so much innings, his pain level was tolerable. And so the oxygen helps with the inflammation and reducing the inflammation in the body. you know, Obviously, I knew it worked, but again, it's about getting more and more people to try it. The goal, obviously, is to get, the FDA to approve this, and that takes a lot of resources financially to do the clinical studies. But again, once I hear these things, when I go back or when I call a patient and I follow up and I ask them, how did you sleep? How do you feel after within the 24 to 36 hours of getting an oxygen bath? And the testimony is always the same. I had a great sleep. I got up feeling rejuvenated. I have the energy to tackle the day. So that was just one of many testimonies that I get from people that use the oxygen hydrotherapy at the Aberdeen Wellness Park. Well, a lot of people, for want of a better word, they have a lot of mileage on their bodies. A lot of people are getting up, they're going to work every day, and sometimes your health is something that people don't put first and foremost. Everybody is focused on their bills, or they're focused on their kids. They're focused on, their lives outside of their health. And so they don't take their health until something happens. And that's what we want to change. And in doing so, we want to make them more aware of natural ways where they could change their livelihood or their lifestyle. And oxygen, as we know, we breathe it, it's around us. And so if you could take 30 minutes out of your day and get, oxygen into your body by sitting in water that's warm, there's no side effects. I think, that's what we want people to experience and get the benefits of. Obviously, it's going to take these testimonies. It's going to take, people coming out of their shell and taking their health. Health is wealth. That's my belief, that health and wealth are interconnected. And so the more that we, teach about the oxygen, more and more people are going to be inclined to try it and see the tremendous benefits of it.